Warning, the following may contain hook horrors.
Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced. Previously on Crit-Faced, having tracked down the bones of Saint Andrel to the local coffinmaker's home, Jean Mallarmé turns himself invisible and prepares to get a closer look.
Meanwhile, let's go to Jean. Jean, would you like to take a stealth check, please, with advantage? Wow, that's how good you are. You're not even at your microphone. and he's back. Hello, Jean.
Actually disappeared.
I was just sneaking around back. I mean, I was certainly not relieving myself behind the house. I would never do such a thing. I don't know who you're talking about.
Would you like to take a stealth check with advantage, please?
Oh, yes, indeed. I would still be... so advantage, what does that mean exactly?
Well, that means you roll twice and you take your best result.
Thank God. Where's my... Okay, that's not good. That's not good. That's off the floor. 23.
23, okay. I mean, you get the impression that your pals don't even know which side of the building you decided to go around. You're getting good at this. Invisibility looks good on you. So,
it makes me want to sing. I should not sing.
Okay, so as you make your way around, it's a fairly plain building as buildings go. It stands alone. It's not adjoined to another, so there's a bit of land around it. But it's, the grass obviously gets cut a few times a year. It's nothing exciting. There are windows, especially towards the back. There's a good few windows there. However, all the windows are just like a lattice work of tight iron, and there's squares of frosted glass on them. Also, when you look in, you can't see, there's no lights inside, it's dark, and you can't really make out anything in particular. There is a back door to the house on the eastern side of the building. There's no window in it. It's just like a wooden door.
Can I try the door lightly? Or should I peer into the windows and there's nothing? You can see the
frosted glass.
Nothing.
There's no light
frosted glass
on the other side.
Okay. Yes, I guess I'll. Can I inspect the lock?
Yeah. There actually isn't a lock on the door that you can see from this side.
Okay. Can I try the door very, 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 very quietly?
Yeah,
very quietly,
just
sort of like
your stealth check. It's there's a handle, there's a door handle, but when you pull down on it, it doesn't open. You get the impression there's something barring it on the other side.
Is there any way I can climb to another level and enter from a window up above?
Okay, there are windows on the second level. You could climb if you wanted to have a go. They look like they're frosted glass as well.
Are there bars though?
Well, they're not bars, but neither are the ones downstairs. They've got sort of iron that the glass are held within, but
right. Can I very sneakily punch in one of the panes, just like that, just a little .
You could certainly have a shot at punching in one of the panes if you wanted. Yeah.
It might ruin your invisibility.
Why? Well, no. I will cast a minor illusion of a terrified bird.
Okay.
Flopping against the pane as I punch it, and then flying away in a confused state.
A magpie?
A magpie. This is a good plan.
Do you want to take a... are we doing this? Are you doing this?
Yes, I'm going to do this. It sounds like
you're trying to do it sneakily. Are you using your Arcana for this? Is that right?
No. The bird is going to be the cause of this, and then I will see if there's any response.
Sure.
And
Do you want to take a
some
strength?
drooling monster comes out, I will. Okay.
Do you want to take a strength check?
Strength?
Yes.
Okay, 17 plus... What's my strength? I never use strength. I have so little of it.
It's on the left-hand side. I think it's actually the top. Is it the top attribute?
Oh, it's -1.
Yes.
17, so 16.
Well, actually, you greet it with a lot of success. So I imagine you take your fist or your elbow or
Yes, like that.
and yeah, absolutely. The pane of glass smashes. The illusionary bird, magpie bops off it and flies away. As the glass tinkles inside, you hear a door open, and it's a very dark room, but there's you hear a bit of thudding on the sort of wooden floor, and then suddenly there's a face in the window. It's an older man, maybe in his 60s, we reckon. I mean, he looks somebody. He's just sort of glancing. His face is poking out the window, trying to figure out what's happening. It looks like he is somebody who's normally well groomed, although he's kind of let himself go in the last couple of days. A bit of a dapper beard, mustache combo, totally grey hair. He looks drawn. He looks as if he hasn't had a lot of sleep. And he looks out the window, sort of with roving eyes, and he says, Who's there? What? And he looks about for a bit, completely paranoid, and then backs away from the window and slowly walks out of the room again that you've opened up. You hear the door close.
Can I reach in now and open the window?
So you reach in, and there is indeed a latch underneath.
This is going swimmingly.
Okay.
So I reach in and I undo the latch.
Okay. And the window swings open. So the room that you are in, it's a quite a large, musty L-shaped room, and it must be Van der Voort's storeroom, because you count a total of 13 wooden coffins strewn about the floor of this room.
Mm.
Yes. And I have my bearings well enough now that I can tell where the front door is. Is that correct?
Well, the front door is to the left. Off where you're entering in.
So I sneakily go to the front door and unbar it.
Oh wait, so you're going into the building? Is that right?
Oh yes, no, I climb
okay.
in. I do climb in.
You get on in now. There are 2 doors. There are 2 doors to your left. You know that neither of them are the front door. They lead to an adjoining room. But neither of them are to the front door where your pals are.
Okay, so all right. I've always known I would die alone. I will pursue the first door to my... Yes, that direction.
Yeah.
Is it left or right?
Yeah, the first door. So
yes.
What are you doing exactly?
Is it a closed door? Is there either door open?
No, neither door is open.
Okay. I'm very invisible.
You are
still very invisible. I like that.
Yeah.
I will do a prestidigitation of a draft. Like, a little wind.
Okay.
Like it's sort of a sudden wind coming through the window, and I will push open the first door.
Okay. So your first door opens up, and from the light from the busted window behind you, you can see that this is a set of stairs leading upward.
Okay. All right. That worked out well. Okay. So I back up and I really want to sing, but it seems no singing. Another gust of wind comes through the window and opens the door for the other room.
Okay. So the other room opens. The door opens, and straight away the man that you saw runs into the doorway, and he goes, "What? Who is there? Who is it? I know there's somebody there. Show yourself." This man is completely paranoid. Obviously, he's standing there in the doorway, looking about. Are you? Is this what you do? Do you make that noise?
Well, I feel like it's the wrong call, but I do want to make a noise. I mean, it's a performance. I mean,
Okay.
yes, I do. I throw my voice by just moving my lips to one side of my face, and I go, "Caw."
Do you want to take a performance check then if you're attempting to do
I
your voice?
I really, really do. 13 plus performance is 20.
Right,
This-
and he goes. He obviously hears the bird squawking from further back into the coffin storage room, and this guy sort of runs past you and runs back to the window and sticks his. And he realizes he notices at this point that the window is lying wide open now, not a bit smashed in it, and he just looks completely aghast. His hands are up, and he's looking outside, and he spins around, and he's looking all around him, and he's going, "What? What is going on here? What?" And closes the window again and starts looking suspiciously around the room. Do you want to take another stealth check, Sean?
Sure.
Sorry, still with advantage.
Okay, with advantage. Ooh, 13.
Okay. So his eyes fix right on the spot that you're in, and for a second you feel that you're going to be discovered, but he just keeps glancing about with intense paranoia, just everywhere around the room. Starts looking at the coffins, and he reaches at his belt and draws a very small knife from the belt, and he starts going, I know there's someone in here. When I find you'll be sorry. Just tell me where you are now, and I'll spare you.
So the door that he left open.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can I go through that?
Yeah.
Let's go through there.
Okay, so this room seems to be like a carpenter's workshop. This clearly must be the room that he uses to make the coffins, furniture. There's lots of 3 sturdy work tables here strewn with his tools. There's a door here you reckon must be the front door of the building. It's got a big it's got a big wooden bar, which is obviously closing it to your pals on the other side.
Can I remove the bar quietly?
Yeah. And okay. Are you opening the door? You can still hear Vandervoort making a lot of noise.
I unbar the door and I just sort of crack it open. So hopefully that my observant friends who are outside notice that I've done so.
Observant friends, you notice the door open. There's nobody in the room beyond it. It opens into what looks like a carpenter's workshop.
Sean, is it you?
Yes. There's a guy with a knife in here, and he's very unpleasant. Come in. I want to stay invisible, and maybe I can do some spooky things.
So, what do you guys do?
Well, it's just one guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, but he has a knife.
We've got knives and stuff.
I die very quickly. I was made to perish.
Maybe if we knock,
Don't
as though we were customers.
Burst in and burst in and take him by surprise. He seems very skittish. Remember, you were inspectors of the reliquary of the more. You can do this. You have badges.
McCragg, Lord Talfin.
I'll defer to your wisdom, Master Sono.
Okay. As you guys are debating in the doorway, the guy runs back into his carpenter's workshop again, and he stops frozen as he realizes the door is now open. You guys standing outside. For a second, it's just a look of shock and total fear, and then it's replaced by a look of anger. And he starts, "We're close! Go away! Go away!" And he marches over to the door.
I cast minor illusion to create a booming voice, and I say, I am the Morning Lord, God, Lord Morning Man. I'm the man of Morning Lord. I wish I paid attention in school. I am the Morning Lord.
Okay.
And you have been very naughty.
And at the sound of that voice echoing around the room, Vandervoort falls on his bottom. He's just lying sprawled on the floor, looking in total shock. His eyes are just darting around his room, and then he fixes on the 3 people standing in the doorway, and he just looks at you and goes, "Oh, what? Oh, what?"
These are my disciples.
Vandervoort is just stricken. He just doesn't know what to do. You can tell by the look in his face, guys, this is somebody who's been through a lot recently, and clearly whatever is going on now has just pushed him over the edge.
Oh dear. You seem rather skittish, my friend.
Did you... Can you hear that?
Hear what?
What? And then he glances around again. I assume you guys are still outside, so he eventually, after a couple of seconds, he says, stay out, we're closed. And he gets up and he goes back to the door again.
I put my foot in between it.
And he looks at your foot as if it's something considerably more unpleasant. And back to you, and he points his finger in your face and he says, What do you think you're doing? Get out of my home! And he tries to close the door.
Well, since Jean is still invisible, he comes up behind him and tickles him at the ribs, very, very aggressively.
Okay, so the guy, I mean, he collapses again. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen bats, like what they do to praying mantises, and the mantis just sort of collapses, basically like a puppet having its strings cut, and he just falls apart basically in the doorway. And he sort of wriggles and rolls on the ground trying to get away from whatever it is that's causing this sensation. And he just starts screaming at the top of his voice.
And the Morning Lord, and again the booming voice says, "These are my disciples, and they will bring you joy, as you feel it now, if you listen to them and do as they say."
He gets on his hands and knees, and he crawls under one of his workbenches, and he just looks out at it. So there's you can just see the white of his eyes from under the dark workbenches, and he just goes, "No, just get out, all of you, leave me alone," and covers his ears with his hands.
I walk over to him and put a soothing hand on his shoulder and say...
He flinches away from it.
We're not leaving until you explain fully your recent boneheaded move.
What?
Oh. The Morning Lord sighs deeply.
It was me. It was me. I admit it. It was me. They're upstairs. You could take them. Just please leave me alone.
But the Morning Lord knows all.
Oh, no.
Why did you take them?
Oh, but I had no choice. No, I had no choice.
Why?
But there was a man. A man, he promised me lots of money to help him. But it was the worst mistake I ever made.
This man, what was he like? Did he mention a name, or...?
His name was von Holtz. Vasily von Holtz. I only met him once, and then I agreed to help him, and he started to send friends. And those friends, they're still here. And he looks at you with his wide eyes, and then he looks upstairs. He looks up with his eyes, and then he sort of leans out from under the carpenter's workbench and conspiratorially, but still eyes wide, and he says, "They're still here, but they're asleep. It's the day, you see. They sleep during the day."
Oh no, are they vampires?
and he goes back to cowering under his bench.
Oh, this is perfect. We've got them in their like beds. Everyone draw their swords. Not swords doesn't work. Everyone like gird their magic, and we'll go upstairs. And you can't see me, can you? I'm so sorry. It must be frightening for you. I can tickle you again if you would like. I'm sorry. We should. Where upstairs are they? The first room, the second room, left, the right.
How many are they?
And he raises a shaking hand up with 3 fingers on it.
Well, we have them outnumbered.
Oh, but if these are really vampires, then remember Doru.
Oh yes. Well, but we've learned that like magic is very powerful against them, and if they're sleeping, we can perhaps just magic them in their sleep. Like intensely magic them around the throat until their heads pop off. I don't know. I'm new to magicking.
Fire.
Yes.
Lots of fire.
Yes, we have someone who does like fireballs.
Are the bones upstairs too? Or have they been removed?
Yes, they are. The bones are in my room. In the wardrobe.
Okay.
Do you have any handcuffs?
What?
Do you have any like a stout rope?
Yeah, yes. And he indicates, and yes, there's plenty of rope on the walls of the... there's tools aplenty here.
I say that we of course lash this man and gag him because I don't...
What?
Further than I could throw him, which is very far because I'm a god. And then we sneak upstairs and we try to bind the vampires as they slumber, and that if they wake while we are sawing off their heads, we at least have some advantage there. I'm not being met with the enthusiasm for... I was expecting some real excitement for this plan.
Fire.
We will probably end up burning down this dark freaking house again.
We've learned nothing about like fireballs.
But okay, so here's the plan. We go upstairs and we try to get the bones to a secure place first, without waking the vampires.
We could send the old man. We could send the old man to retrieve the bones. He knows exactly where they are.
I think he may be in cahoots. I mean, if they are, if he's just pretending to not see, I think we should send somebody who's very quiet and not me up the stairs to see if they can't retrieve them. I mean, I know I'm invisible still, but I mean, really, am I? You're going to hear me. If you prick me, do I bleed?
I'm worried about what will happen to this poor man if we wake up the vampires and steal the bones. Do they know him? Will they come after him? Will they demand retribution?
We can adopt him as a mascot. We need a cook. Can you cook?
I wonder if we get the bones back where they belong in the crypt, if that will somehow diminish the power that these vampires might possess.
I think that's the natural assumption, because why else would they steal them? They must.
Do you know if they can even wake up during the day?
During the day?
Vampires? I don't think you know. Have you seen Doru? Was Doru during the day? He was during the day. The first encounter.
Oh, yeah, right.
I think the answer here is unfortunately very obvious. We should first try to get the bones out.
Yes.
And then you all should go up there and kill them as best you can with your non-magic things. And morning Lord save you. I'll meet you back in the priest chambers for wine at 7. That sounds like a plan. With the bones, of course. I'll get the bones. You kill the vampires.
Is the boy still outside?
Milivoj is actually started to follow you inside.
Okay, so maybe can we send both of them away together, since they're obviously being misused by this dark power that's infested this town?
Are we sure they're like innocent though? I mean, they do seem very questionable.
I think they made a series of grave mistakes that they are beginning to feel very sorry for now.
I did the same thing. As a young
getting
actor,
worse and worse.
I made some mistakes, but okay, you want to send them away?
I want to torch down this
Let's
entire
just focus first on getting the bones.
Yes.
Okay. So if I go upstairs, because I'm still invisible, I have another, I think, 52 minutes. I will gather the bones. Where are the bones exactly, sir?
They're in my room. To the right when you go up the stairs.
Are there any baddies in there? In your room?
No, the vampires are in the storage room to the left.
And they're very asleep.
Yes.
All right. So tell my mother that I'm sorry about what I said at her last birthday party, and she's a beautiful thin woman. I am going to go up the stairs, and this is going to be fine. It's going to be fine. If you hear me screaming, please come running.
We will.
I don't think you will. All right. So I go up the stairs.
Okay. Will you take a stealth check, please?
Oh, God, please. Advantage still? I mean,
Well,
invisible.
nobody can see you though. So.
Okay, so my stealth is 8.
Okay. So
I put my tap shoes on.
They are very creaky stairs that you're distinctly aware of making a considerable amount of noise as you walk up them. There's no window at the top here. There is a bit of light bleeding through from below, from the hole that you bashed into the coffin storage room below you. And you can just make out 2 doors on the landing, a very small landing at the top, one to the right and one to the left.
He did say to the right. I think he said to the right. I'm pretty sure he says right. Oh, I should listen to people when they talk to me. I'm going to the right.
Okay. The door gives a small creak as it opens, and a bit more light splashes in here. There's still one single frosted window in the wall. This seems to be some kind of kitchen. There's a square table in the center of the room, surrounded by 4 chairs, and there's some shelves with various provisions on it.
But no wardrobe?
But no bones?
And another door.
I hope he's not making Saint Bone soup.
Yeah, this sounds very, very sinister.
There's another door off to the right from within this room.
Okay. But no obvious bones. Can I do like an investigation, sort of like look around for bones? Okay, I'm going to look around for bones. 11 plus investigation, which is 12.
So you do a quick rummage. I mean, really, the only thing to look at here are the shelves, and it just seems to be, cutlery, plates, basic food, basic food stuff.
No, but silver. No silver cutlery.
Exciting at all. This is obviously where Van der Voort has his food,
And where he got his knife from.
Could very well have been a kitchen knife. Yeah.
Is in the food looking very sumptuous or tasty? Is it?
I mean, it's basic stuff. It'll do the job, but it doesn't really beat a meal at the Blue Water Inn, for example.
Sure. But it's the middle of the day, and you get a little
you go for it. Knock yourself.
Yeah.
out.
So I have a couple of pieces of cheese, which I mean, it's a little bit salty.
There's a bit of bread as well.
A little crumb of bread, of course, a little bit of jam, and then I continue to the next door.
Okay. So, would you like to take a stealth check again as you open this door, please?
Yes, as I put on my clown shoes. 18.
18. Okay. Door opens smoothly. A bit more light comes in. This is a larger room. It's got 2 windows set into it. It is clearly a bed chamber. There's the bed at the northern wall. There's some well-made pieces of furniture, a table, a padded chair, a bookshelf, and a wardrobe.
But no pile of bones.
No pile of bones, no.
All right. So the wardrobe. Investigate.
Yeah.
I should have asked him more questions. Okay. And I open the wardrobe.
Yeah. I mean, there are some clothes in here, but there's nothing particularly untoward inside.
Oh, okay. I do a general investigation for bones.
Go for it.
19 plus 20.
Okay. You after a quick rummage around inside the wardrobe, you do realize that there is there's a storage, some kind of storage in the base of the wardrobe that's sort of hidden upon first look, and there's a panel basically at the bottom of his clothes that you lift off, and underneath there are 2 sacks.
Oh well, we should kind of investigate both sacks, just sort of see what's in them.
There's a large sack first, and you can tell straight away. It's a pile of bones. As soon as you lift it up, it's got that hollow clanking sound, and
Right. Bag of bones.
Yes, that's the bag of bones. The smaller one is a nice jangling sound as you lift it, which you can also tell straight away is full of money.
Oh. So I put the bag of money in my pants, and I throw the bag of bones over my shoulder.
Okay.
Very, very quiet. I would say throw. I mean, like, quietly sort of drag it over my back, and then I proceed back the way I've come.
Okay. And you make your way back down the stairs. When you picked up the bones, they didn't turn invisible. So we've got the rest of you guys see a floating bag of bones come into the room, and Van der Voort is still struggling to comprehend exactly what's going on here. Freaks out at the sight of it. No, morning, Lord. What? No.
You know what you did.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm going to take these bones over to the bank. I mean, to the church, and you should all stay here and kill whatever's to the left. I think it's despicable. Don't knock. I will see you in the morning. Goodbye. Goodbye. And I run outside.
So, the bag of bones has just run outside. What's everyone doing?
Crit-Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcast.com and join our Crit-Faced fan group.